Hello and welcome to the race briefing for IRONMAN 70.3 Turkey 2021. We are very excited to be back racing again this year and are looking forward to a fantastic race weekend. My name is Joanne Murphy and I will take you through the briefing today. If you have any specific queries, please refer to the athlete guide. In line with Ironman's global return to racing guidelines, you will see some additional safety measures in place at the race this weekend. These include our COVID certificate, which is compulsory for all athletes. You will have designated check-in times. Your race briefing will be online. At all event areas, face coverings must be worn. We ask you to wash your hands and to use the hand sanitizers provided. We invite you to leave more space between you and your fellow athletes and please keep your distance. Use fist pumps instead of handshakes and high fives and get familiar with the return to racing guidelines. There is a very busy schedule across the race weekend. We invite you to take note of the important times for registration, for bike and bag racking, and of course the merchandise store hours, as well as our fabulous Parade of Nations and welcome banquet taking place on Friday evening. Saturday, our official swim and Iron Kids take place. On race day Sunday, transition will open at 6 o'clock in the morning and will close at 7:45. Your race will get underway from 8 o'clock in the morning and the rolling start will continue until 8:45. We will have our expo and merchandise store open all day. Post-race, you will be able to collect your bike from 2 p.m. in the afternoon until 8 o'clock p.m. Our awards ceremony and slot allocation for Ironman 70.3 World Championships will take place from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. in the Land of Legends. Wearing a face covering is compulsory in the whole event area. Before you can start your registration process, you have to pass the COVID certificate checkpoint at the entrance to the main area. Please prepare your certificate in paper or digital form. Certificates can be proof of vaccination, full vaccination with any COVID vaccine not longer than 6 months ago. A recovery certificate of a COVID infection at least 28 days and not more than 6 months ago. You may also provide a certificate for a negative PCR test or a negative antigen test, which must be taken within 48 hours before arrival on event site. The registration area is situated at the Chateau stage. You will enter this area from the north gate entrance of the shopping mall. Please choose a time slot for your registration on active.com. There will be queuing lines with distance markers on the floor. Please queue up during your self-chosen time slot and keep enough distance. We remind you to please make sure that you have filled in and signed your waiver and have a printout of your COVID certificate just in case the digital format does not work. Please ensure you fill in your emergency contact details and your medical information on the back of your race number. In the case that we need to contact somebody on your behalf, we need to have their contact details. Please ensure that they are correct and clearly visible on your race bib. Now let's look at bike check-in. Please make sure that all of your bags are labelled and that you have your Ironman stickers on the bike. Make sure to wear your bib number. You will put this into your blue bag after entering transition. Show your bike and helmet to the referee so that he does not have to touch your equipment. Show that your brakes work and that the chin strap of your helmet fastens properly. You place your bags on the hanger according to your bib number. You place your bike on the rack also according to your bib number. Do not leave your helmet, glasses or bib number on the bike and don't leave anything on the floor. Please note some of our special precautions with regards to bike check-in this year. There will be bike tech available at the expo, but not during check-in in transition. There will be distance markers on the ground. We ask you to queue whilst keeping your distance. There will be hand sanitizers at the entrance of transition. Please present your bike and helmet in a way that the referee does not need to get in contact with you. Please wear a mask during the whole check-in process. You will receive a number of race stickers. These are labelled accordingly. You will place your helmet sticker on the front of your helmet. The long sticker at the top goes around the seat post of your bicycle. And you will also receive 3 bag stickers, one for each of your blue, red and white bags. When you go to rack your bike, you'll also rack your blue bag. You hang your blue bag in transition 1 during bike check-in and you hang it on the rack according to your race number. Don't forget to include your bib number, your helmet, your bike glasses, bike shoes, bike gear, socks, your nutrition if you're not putting it on the bike, and some sunscreen. During the race, after changing into your bike gear, you must put your wetsuit and swim gear into the blue bag and put it back on the numbered rack. Your helmet and your bib number need to be placed inside the blue bag and need to be checked in with the bike. You will hang your red run bag in transition 2, and you can choose to do this before or after bike check-in. We advise doing it before bike check-in. Include in your red bag your running shoes, your running clothes, your cap, sunscreen and any nutrition you might need on the run course. During the race, after changing into your run gear, you must put your helmet and bike gear into the red bag and put it back on the numbered rack. You will not have access to your red bag on race morning, nor can it be checked in on race day. Your white bag is your streetwear bag. This is the bag that you will use to change after the race. You drop the white bag off on race morning at the white bag drop off. You can drop off from 0600 to 0800 at transition 1 exit. We will have numbered containers to drop the bags, and the white bag can be picked up in the after race area when you have finished racing. Please only include your streetwear and shoes in the bag. Do not place your pump inside. Your white bag must close properly. Please do not exceed the size of the bag. Moving on to timing chips. Timing chips will be handed out in transition 1 after bike check-in. The chip and strap are handed out separately. Please make sure to assemble them correctly before heading to the start line on Sunday. You wear your chip on your left ankle and under the wetsuit. Always wear your chip on race day. No chip, no time. Now let's look at race day. We will have bike mechanic services available in transition area only on race day. It is not recommended to wear your race bib number under the wetsuit. Markings on the racks or on your bags are not allowed. Socks or compression socks covering your feet are not allowed during the swim. Calf guards are allowed as long as it's a wetsuit legal swim. So let's now look at your swim. IRONMAN 70.3 Turkey will be a rolling swim start. There are limited toilets on the way to the swim start, so please use the ones in transition 1 and in the buffet area of the beach park. It will take approximately 60 minutes to get the entire field across the swim start line. Each athlete's individual race time will start when they cross the swim start timing mat under the swim start arch. The onshore pre-swim start area will be a self-seeded area based on an athlete's predicted swim time for the 1.9 kilometre course. Athletes will seed themselves into these zones based on their predicted swim times. As you move from transition towards the swim start area, you will first go to the pre-start area. You will then self-seed according to your predicted swim finish time in that self-seeded area before moving to the swim start when you are called by the race officials. You can also see here your swim exit area on the map. For the self-seeded rolling start, we will have a number of signs with the times of predicted swims on them. Less than 30 minutes, less than 35 minutes, less than 40 minutes, less than 45 minutes, over 45 minutes, and of course our relay teams. You find the sign based on your honest expected swim time and seed yourself in the rolling start pen according to that time. Swimming with athletes that have a similar pace like yourself will enhance your comfort and performance in the swim. Your swim on race day is 1.9 kilometres in total. This will be made up of 2 loops. One loop of 1.2 kilometres and a 700 metre shorter loop. In the first loop, you will keep all of the yellow buoys on your left-hand shoulder, and on the second shorter loop, you will keep all of the orange buoys on your right shoulder. The expected water temperature is approximately 24 degrees Celsius. The official water temperature will be communicated 1 hour before the swim start. Please make sure you check the information boards in transition and bring your wetsuit with you on race morning. The start is a beach start. There is an Australian exit that requires you to leave the water and run across a timing mat mid-swim. Here we see a map of our 1.9 kilometre swim. So the first loop you do is 1.2 kilometres. You keep the yellow buoys on your left-hand shoulder, At the Aussie exit on the map on the beach, you will get out of the water, you'll run across the timing mat, and then you will enter the water to complete the shorter 700 metre swim, and you will keep all of the orange buoys on your right hand shoulder. In line with our return to racing guidelines, please note some of the special precautions for the race this year. Before lining up inside the start boxes for the swim according to your predicted swim time, you'll have to wait inside the pre-start area. There will be hand sanitizers at the entrance of this pre-start area. Face coverings are compulsory at this pre-start area and can be dropped in a rubbish bin just before the swim start line. Start lines will be 2 metres apart with the distance markers on the fences. The warm-up swim is allowed until 07:45. Swim exit must be reached following the official course. You must cross the Australian exit timing mat. All athletes must cross the timing mat at the swim exit. If you do not start the race or drop out before reaching the swim exit, please communicate immediately to the medical staff, the race director or staff in transition. Failing to communicate will initiate an emergency search and rescue to be paid for by the athlete. Now let's look at transition 1. The distance from swim exit to transition 1 is about 300 metres. Bikes are racked on standard bike racks. Blue bags have to be put back on the bag hangers after changing, and the mount line will be marked by a neon coloured line. We have some special precautions again this year. These include the fact that there will be fenced off areas next to the bag hangers instead of changing tents. We ask you to please make sure to keep your distance between other athletes whilst changing and passing transition. And the toilets in T1 and T2 will be more spaced out and equipped with hand sanitizer. This map shows us the layout for T1. You'll see our age group bike racks as well as our relay bike racks. You have a waiting zone for the relays. You'll see the swim in area as well as the bike out area on the opposite side of the map. And then of course we also have our white bag drop off, which you can access on the way to the swim start on Sunday morning. Next, let's look at your bike course. The bike course is flat and on new asphalt. You have to do 2 loops of 40k with a short out and back section. There are no technical downhill sections on the course. There are 2 turnaround points. We ask you to please slow down and pass them very carefully. The turnaround point at kilometre 45 is extremely narrow. Please follow the directions there and take extreme care. There is an aid station at kilometre 25 and 65. There is a water station at kilometre 10 and 50. Please discard bottles and wrappers only at the aid stations, and all aid stations are on the right hand side. This map gives you an idea of your bike course. The 90-kilometre course will see you leaving transition. You will follow the red line as far as the kilometre marker on the map. You will then join the yellow line, which you will complete twice. The turnaround point indicated by the kilometre marker on the map is very narrow, so please be careful when making your turn, as there will be lots of cyclists on the route. When you have completed your second loop of the yellow section, you will rejoin the red line to make your way to transition 2 for the run course. There will be a number of feeding stations as mentioned on the bike course. The bike aid station bottles and food will be handed out by our staff, and food will be pre-packaged where possible. There will be bins and toilets at each feed station out on the bike course. Please note that between kilometres 84 and 88 you will ride on the left hand side of the road. However, there will be traffic on the other side of the road going in both directions. Now for our key bike rules. We ask you to keep right at all times, overtake on the left and immediately merge right after completing the pass. There are a maximum of 2 athletes side by side allowed, and only when overtaking. Please do not cut corners or do not litter. It is your responsibility to know the course. There is an automatic penalty with no warning if you infringe in any of these rules. Please note these additional key bike rules. It is forbidden to go into the opposite lane. Going into the opposite lane will result in a disqualification. If you are found to be drafting, you will receive a blue card and a 5-minute time penalty. If you block other riders from overtaking you on the bike, you will receive a yellow card. In this case, if you move to overtake on the left, please ensure that once you have made the overtake that you move back to the main flow of bikes and allow other riders coming through to overtake you. All cards must be served at the next penalty box. Penalty box 1 is in the bike roundabout at kilometre 8, 40, 50 and 82. Penalty box 2 is in the transition area 2. Not serving your penalty equals immediate disqualification. Let's now look at our drafting rules. If you are riding 12 metres away from the bike in front of you, then that is perfect. Once you get closer than 12 metres away, you must overtake within 25 seconds. Once your front wheel matches the front wheel of the rider being overtaken, they must drop back outside of the drafting zone. Failure to stay 12 metres away from the bike in front, failure to pass in 25 seconds, or failure to overtake at all, then you could be penalised. In this race, passing is only allowed on the left-hand side. Drafting will see you get a blue penalty card. If you pass on the right side, it's a red card and automatic disqualification. And if you are blocking other riders, then it is a yellow card. This slide shows us the different penalties for the various cards that our referees will carry on race day. If you get a yellow card, it's a 30-second penalty. If you receive a second yellow card, it's an additional 30-second penalty. Should you receive a blue card, you will receive a 5-minute penalty. And if you receive a second blue card, it's an additional 5-minute penalty. A red card will see you automatically disqualified. And any 3 cards combined, yellow or blue, is an automatic disqualification. If you decide to stop and quit the race, you must inform a referee who can then inform our race control. Or you must inform the team leader in the transition area. This is really important and must be done by any athlete who wishes to stop the race. We will have mechanical and tech service available on race day. Our official bike mechanical service will be at the expo and in transition area on race morning. Pumps and tubes will be provided at aid stations. We'll also have pumps in the transition area on race morning. We will also have mobile support out on the course. We'll have 1 technical car and a stationary service. We'll also have a sweeper vehicle out on the course for those athletes who may require it. We also have stationary service at aid stations at kilometres 8, 40, 50 and 82 next to the penalty tent. In this map, you'll see the layout of transition 2. So as you approach transition, you will see the dismount line. You must get off your bike before you hit the dismount line. You must keep your helmet on while you rack your bike. You'll then make your way over to the red bag hangers where you'll pick up your red bag and change at the changing area into your run gear. You'll place your red bag back on the red bag hanger and then head out onto the run course. If you do need to serve a penalty, you'll see the penalty just there to the top of the map here, just by the run out section. Lots of toilets in the transition area as well. And of course, we have a relay waiting zone over on the left-hand side of the map for those cyclists who will come in on the relay, and the runners will be waiting for them to go out on the run course. Now let's look at your run course, 21.1 kilometres of running to round out your day of racing at IRONMAN 70.3 Turkey. The run course is 3-loop course with a portion of the course going through the Land of Legends alongside the Venetian Channel. It's a narrow area here, so please be careful, especially if you're overtaking. You will pass the finish line twice, and on the third approach will make your way down the magic carpet and to that wonderful finish line. As mentioned, the run course is a 3-lap course. There are no lap bands handed out, so please make sure to count your laps or to check your watch. It is forbidden to use headphones or similar devices on the run course. Aid stations are at kilometre 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, 13, 15, 17 and 20. There is an additional Red Bull station at kilometres 3, 10 and 17. We ask you to please discard cups and wrappers at the aid stations only. As mentioned, there is a tight area on the run course alongside the Venetian Channel in the Land of Legends. We ask you to please try to overtake safely within these 300 metres. Families and friends are not allowed into the after finish area, and after finishing, please proceed to the athlete's garden right away. There are a number of run course rules that you need to be aware of. Infringing on these rules may result in a red card and instant disqualification. Please do not take any shortcuts on the run. Do not urinate in public. If you litter outside the official drop-off zones within the aid stations, you may receive a penalty. There is no outside assistance allowed. If there is somebody coaching you from the sidelines, they must stay outside the race course. The coach has to stand. There's no running side by side allowed, and also no riding alongside the run course next to the athlete. It is forbidden to bring someone with you down the finish line, and it is also forbidden to carry iPods, mobile phones, cameras or GoPros. There is no penalty tent on the run course. You will be stopped by referees on the spot to serve your time penalty. As part of our special precautions out on the run course, the run will be kept as wide as possible. Please do try to keep your distance when overtaking or running next to each other. It's important to note that there will be no lap bands this year, so please check your watch or count the laps by yourself. You turn to the finish line at 21 kilometres. Out on the run course, we have a number of run aid stations. We have toilets and bins at each aid station out on that run course. Athletes are encouraged to take always the first cup, bar or gel from the table and don't touch anything else. Food will be pre-packaged where possible. On the run aid stations, cups and food will not be handed out by our staff. This must be picked up by yourself from the table. There will be no sponges on the run course this year. After completing the run course, it is time to run down that finish line, the last 100 metres to the finish line, and to celebrate. On the finish line, we ask you to please allow some room for other athletes when crossing the line. Do not run down the finish line with other people, your family members. You will be disqualified if you do this. After the finish line, you will be handed a medal and there will be water for you as well. Please remove your timing chip and place it in a bowl provided after the finish. If you need medical assistance, you will find it in the after finish area. Food, finisher t-shirts and your white bags can be found in the after finish area. As part of our return to racing guidelines, we do have some special precautions for this year's finish line area. The finish line is inside the restricted main area. That means that all your supporters have to pass the COVID certificate check to get their access authorisations. This year, we have to avoid high-fiving between the athletes and the speaker. We ask you to please leave the finish area as soon as possible after your race and move on to the after finish area for your celebrations. Please remove your timing chip by yourself after leaving the finish area and put it into the provided bowls with disinfectant solution. The after race will be extended. Please keep the distance between you and other athletes in this area. There will be hand sanitisers at the after race area. You'll get food and drinks at various stations at the athletes' garden. Please avoid queuing and keep your distance from other athletes. Parts of the served food will be pre-packaged. There will be no massage in the athletes' garden this year, and we ask you please to wear a face covering in the after finish area. These will be handed out at the finish line. This next slide is specifically in relation to our relay teams. Every member of the relay team must go to the registration in person and sign a waiver. The relay biker checks in his or her bike and hands over the timing chip to the swimmer. The swimmer must line up at the very back of the rolling start. Keep an eye out for the relay sign. The cyclist waits for the swimmer in the designated relay zone in transition 1, and the runner waits for the cyclist in the designated relay zone in transition 2. The timing chip is your relay stick and must be handed over from one team member to the next in the transition area. Once you have finished your race, it's time to gather your belongings. So, bike checkout will be open from 1400 to 2000. You will need your athlete wristband to check out your bike. Your blue and red bag will be collected in transition 2 together with your bike. If you wish to protest or appeal your result after finishing the race, please check your results on the result board or on the Ironman Tracker app. If you have any questions, see our officials at the race office near the finish line. Protests will be accepted between 1700 and 1730 on race day Sunday. Protests and appeals will only be accepted with a deposit of 150 Turkish lira according to the rules of the Turkish Triathlon Federation. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our race briefing. I'm sure you are ready to take on our Ironman 70.3 Turkey on Sunday. We are excited to see you. I can't wait to see you on the start line on race day Sunday. If you are not 100% sure you understood everything correctly in this race briefing, we will have a question and answer session on Saturday, October 30th at 10:30 on our social media channels. We will communicate the link to it the day before via Facebook, Instagram and over email. In the meantime, rest up, enjoy your taper, and I'll see you on race day Sunday. Best of luck, everybody.